Their faces, engaged citizens, and fellow activists. The reason that we put this on the ballot is because we believe that voters should have a choice in these types of decisions, is because the issue has only really come up around budget time. And it was actually not in the Law and Public Safety Committee that this came out of, but it was out of the Finance Committee. So that's one reason that we know that this is not really about public safety, and it's really just about imposing a new hidden tax. Traffic safety professionals have broadly concluded that red light cameras really don't improve public safety. While it has sometimes been shown that there is some decrease in side impacts, or what people refer to as T-bone accidents, there is a marked increase in rear-end accidents as drivers who see warning signs for the camera slam on their brakes as another motorist is approaching from the rear. The Greensboro studies showed significant increases in accident rates, the number of possible injury crashes, and no decrease in severe crashes. The Virginia Transportation Research Council found significant increases in total crashes, angle crashes, rear-end crashes, injury crashes, and crash cost. And there are many other studies with similar findings. One was in the Tampa Tribune, I believe it was, but you shouldn't just take my word for it. You can go and research it yourself. You can find more information out at wedemandvote.com. We have a lot of links to different studies there. I think that having some, I don't know the exact numbers, I heard 400 new quasi-governmental cameras monitor our behavior for any reason is really an unneeded intrusion into our lives. The red light cameras represent an abandonment of the traditional due process. The city ordinance contains a presumption of guilt instead of innocence. There is no right to subpoena witnesses in one's defense, and furthermore, council's red light camera ordinance requires an accused to pay the fine before he or she ever gets his or her day in court to defend themselves. Now we know from last year's jail tax fight that many people are in jail because they can't afford to pay fines. And what if you weren't driving the car that day? Well, under the red light camera scheme, the owner of the car is charged with a violation even if he or she is not behind the wheel when a red light is allegedly run. Now you can tell the court who was driving the car so that you can have them ticketed in your place, but what if you don't know who was driving the car? Or what if you don't want to turn in your grandma or your grandson and you're not sure that they could pay the fine or that they even really committed an offense? So that is effectively forced speech, and it's really a violation of the First, Fourth, Fifth, and Sixth Amendments. Each victim of a red light camera is mailed a ticket to be paid without due process. The cost of the trial is high, even in a mayor's court or a civil traffic court. There are costs, and by eliminating the due process element from the process, the city can potentially realize substantial revenue. In the last budget I saw, they were planning for over $1 million in revenue from these cameras. Now, again, this is not about safety. And this $1 million doesn't require a cop to witness a crime. It doesn't require a police officer to sign a sworn statement. And it has no judge to review the evidence, no prosecutor to present the case. It's just a picture and a stamp.